What's up, my friends? Welcome back to our blind Let's Play of The Witcher 2. Here we are with Geralt and Jorvith, and we are about a couple feet away from just going in here and talking to this Letho, ending it all, seeing what the hell is happening, what's going on with the world, what's going on with everything that led up to this point. Like, I can't wait to just get in there and talk to him. So we might as well, let's just jump into the journal and make sure anything, if it did update. The city was in chaos, sorcerers were pursued and murdered, factions clash, all vestiges of civility had been abandoned, and there was no way peace talks or parley would resume. Even Geralt, or perhaps especially he, had to defend himself from attackers. However, nothing could stop the Witcher from reaching the Kingslayer. The summit's main subject was Lormark, or rather the new kingdom formed on those lands recognized by Eddard and Kedwin. The Nilfgaardians trotted out the captured Kingslayer Letho. The sorcerers continued on about recreating the council and conclave. I regret not being there, for Geralt forgot half of the speeches and misremembered the other half, yet no one could forget the events that interrupted the summit. For a dragon in all its majesty appeared over the atmosphere. Chaos ruled the bleachers. Guess who had to face the beast? Geralt spared the dragon's life, or perhaps I would say Saskia, even though sorceresses may have yet had a hold on her. In any case, it all played out in agreement with the Witcher's code, and it matters little if the code is a fiction or not, which forbids the slaying of sapient beasts. The dragon was not Geralt's true enemy. Unlike Letho, it was with him that the Geralt had a score to settle. Alright, well, we might as well go ahead into the area here and talk to Letho. Find Triss, that would be nice, finally.
Stop, Jorvith. I'm going alone.
Why?
This is between the two of us. Take care of Triss until I return.
Your choice.
Mine, indeed. There's one more thing you need to know. Nilfgaard's armies have crossed the Yaruga. War is inevitable.
Va fail, Gwynblade. Don't get killed.
Farewell, Jorvith. If I don't return within the hour, find Saskia and leave without me. Are you all right?
Yes. He saved me from the Nilfgaardians and defended me from the troops.
It's time to end this. Jorvith's waiting. I'll catch up with you soon.
Geralt, he knows a lot.
I know, Triss. That's why we need to talk.
Don't get killed, Witcher.
I won't.
Don't you worry about me, baby. You go ahead and I'll tend to it later. Take it easy, friends. Take it easy. That was vulgar, I know. It was him.
Took you a while?
The megascope?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the royal witch hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first, vodka.
Hell yeah. Let's fucking wet our whistles.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships.
I don't think that was the right saying, but still. Come on.
Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I don't think we chased him to kill him. I think we owe him a lot here. He definitely just saved Triss, so...
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Alright, now this is what I'm talking about.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Sarah, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau, and a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the northern kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. And that's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
So Emir probably wants her to get to Ciri somehow. And now we got It's so crazy that Geralt gave himself up to save Yennefer, and Letho, Ox, and Sirit, pretty much the School of the Viper, pretty much saved Yennefer. So Letho saved Yennefer for us, pretty much, and now he just saved Triss for us as well. We kind of owe Letho a good deal here. I'm actually starting to really like his character, even though he's done some pretty shitty stuff. But he's an interesting character.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every Witcher who wears the Viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the spectral riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary omen of war proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a Witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What did they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
They want Ciri. That's what the hell they want from us, but you don't need to know that, Letho.
How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
So he did all this to rebuild his school? Is that really a good enough reason to kill all the kings in the north? I don't really see that. It's kind of ish. He could always go to another school if he wanted, right? I mean, if he wanted to go to the School of the Wolf, I'm sure that Vesemir would take him in. But I guess I understand your school is like your family in the same sense. So it's like bringing back your family or doing stuff for your family. So I guess I kind of understand. So I guess I can see it, but you know.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
So Sheila likes oafish no-necks? Look at all this stuff.
Where'd you get your information about the Lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the Lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk. But it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers. And we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
Crazy. The amount of stuff that we are just knowing from this conversation is just, like, it's all painting a pretty picture here, or a grim picture. Everything is just coming together. It's crazy. Still can't believe he did it just to build his school up, but I mean, it is what it is. I kind of wish he didn't kill Foltest, though, because the way the North is right now, I don't like this Radovid. Holy moly. Radovid, I can't stand Henselt either. All I gotta say is Witcher 3 is going to be interesting. The way this feels like it's ending. Especially with the North and South probably about to fight again.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arian's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arian's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorvith?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorvith, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorvith. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember.
You could have killed us then, but I don't know about now, friend.
So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind. Or that Yorvith was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
We're not really enemies now either, but...
You screwed up with Henselt.
Sabrina's curse tore that down. First off, we got holed up in that hideout in the ravines. Then Sheila showed up and started watching Henselt like he was her own ass. By that time, his death was no longer necessary. Fate had smiled upon us again. I learned of the summit and the efforts to reconstitute the council and conclave. The ideal setting for the mission's grand finale.
And that would be that. Lots of just so impactful stuff, man. There's so much stuff to just take in here. I still have chills from when Sheila talked about Yennefer being in Nilfgaard, and I've had so much chills this whole episode that my skin and my hair is probably about to fall off my arms. So let's finish this. Come on, throw the fuck down, Letho.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
Wanna fight? Fucking oaf.
The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
Give it your best shot or go somewhere far away. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, just roleplay perspective and just my perspective, I don't want to kill Letho. I don't want to kill another Witcher unless I absolutely have to. He definitely is a threat, but I feel like at this point, I feel like Amir just used him. And what more harm can he do? He saved Triss for us. He protected Yennefer as best as he could. He fought the Wild Hunt with us. And if there is a way to keep him alive and possibly see him in the future, I would indeed like to, because who knows what's going to happen. He could very well be a powerful ally in the future. And I believe our Geralt would feel the same way. And it's like killing a brother in arms or a sister in arms here. I just can't. I couldn't do it, and our Geralt can't bring himself to do it, so I'd rather just have him walk.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
It's pretty awesome that he actually came here to settle this once and for all, because he knows he'd be on the run his whole life. Hopefully we see him again. He's an interesting character, probably the most interesting in the whole game. Still awesome that he saved Triss. Wow.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. Along the way, he had met both the righteous and scoundrels, Bernard Laredo amongst the latter. Laredo sold Flotsam to Kedwin and scattered the local non-humans to the four winds. Flotsam became a military base. Its civilian population was resettled. In Edirn, the Witcher witnessed Saskia the Dragonslayer achieve a great victory. The Pontar Valley, previously Upper Edirn, became a promised land for outcasts who dared dream of freedom. Even sly old Zoltan Chive came to believe in this land of bliss. Yet dark times approached for the architects of the New Order. Dark clouds have been gathering over Temeria since Foltest's death. Stripped of its king, the land was like a rich cloth which nobles began to shred. These minor scavengers, however, scurried off in fear when true predators reached out for their prize. The summit at Loch Muin sealed the fate of Foltest's realm, when Radovid of Redania and Henselt of Kedwin divided it between them. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwin would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included. Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in the laps of the muses. Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Here we are. Another Witcher game down, friends. Wow. Super epic end there. Like, I'm actually shocked that it's over. A little sad that it's over. I got a lot of chills right now still because of all the stuff that just happened. the whole thing with Temeria being divided, oh, that really hurt my heart there, man. I don't like that. And then we have this whole Edirne situation. I wonder, though, this whole thing with Nilfgaard invading, I don't know if that's going to be a good idea now that I think about it. This whole free Pontar Valley, just like what Radovid said, you're just a bunch of, you know, you guys will easily be brought to knee, pretty much, and I believe they probably will without us. So that makes you think that the North is kind of weak for this invasion, because Temeria is still in shambles. They have no leader. I can't believe that Natalis just, like, gave up like that. What was that? That's just so... doesn't even make sense. He gave up so quick and just divided the whole land to Redania and Hedwyn. But then again, we know that Radovid isn't he married to Foltest's daughter, Ada? I believe that's what they said at the beginning of the game, so there is that. But just a lot of stuff to really look forward to in the next game. We got Nilfgaard invading. We have all this stuff with the Wild Hunt. We have Yennefer is definitely going to probably show up at some point now. And she is in Nilfgaard. And with this whole invasion happening, I can imagine Geralt is really going to get on that path of the Witcher again. And not fully play in politics. I feel like I just have a feeling the way the next game is going to be, the way this game is laying the groundwork, I don't feel like we will be pulled into so much politics as we have been in this first two games, but I don't know. But one thing is for sure, I really hope we get a resolution with the Wild Hunt situation. I want to see Yennefer, and I would love to see Ciri as well. But the only thing we can do is just wait until that day comes where we actually play that game. But wow, what a great game. I loved every aspect of it. There was nothing in this game that I felt was bad at all. It was just really good. And the only thing that I have to say that I wish changed is the time this game is. I wish that this game was longer. But we will be doing Roach's Path here shortly, as in like right after this, and that will make the game a little longer, because this game is pretty much half of what we had in Witcher 1's playlist. Witcher 1 was a lot longer than this, but with Roach's Path, I believe that will help us out a little bit more. But wow, great game, great ending. The witch hunt thing is, I don't know. I'm wondering if choices that we made has different outcomes here to like what we did. The whole situation with Triss, I wonder if things happen if we save her compared to not saving her. But at this point, now that I know the outcome of Triss being saved automatically by Letho, I can imagine that Letho probably saves Triss anyway in Roach's Path. And that seems very... I like that. I really like the way that is, you know? But we will see how Roach's Path goes, especially with the RP. And it's going to be very hard. It's very hard for me to actually play Roach's Path, friends, because this was my RP decision. Now, playing Roach's Path, it's a little bit out of RP, especially what we picked with Yorvith and stuff, but I'm going to try to find a middle ground there to why our Geralt would actually do it. But this game doesn't really too much let me RP as much as, let's say, another game with a created character. But that being said, I still am going to give it a chance and try to figure out some way our Geralt would have actually made that choice. And I believe I got, you know, ways I can. But when we are actually done with his path, I wanted to sit back and take in both and see what I feel is going to be better for our Geralt in the future. You know, since I am going ahead and doing both paths, this technically is my one that I would have imported into the game had I not known there was another, you know, path. So it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be fun to just do it. And then, like I said, in the end, we will pick on what I want to do in the Witcher 3, what I feel like our Geralt would have done. But this path, I mean, the decisions and choices that panned out, it was very great. There was just no bad quest. I enjoyed the whole aspect of everything about this game. Combat was great, graphics was great, the story was great. It was just everything, it was just top notch, man. Witcher 1, Witcher 2, some of the best games I've ever played. But I don't know, I'm kind of sad that it's over, but it is not fully over. We are going to go to the other path, but I wonder if there's something at the end here, because I know Codex, or cutscene credits take like 20 minutes, so let's see. Great games always have something at the end. As much as I would sat there and loved to listen to the music, credits are usually about 20 minutes long. So, Nilfgaard is definitely invaded. The world as we know it nears its end, yet the past remains the key to the future. Nilfgaard, it looked like they took Temeria and Edirn there, just like I was suspecting. Wow. This is going to be epic to the next game, man. Because, like I said, the whole Nilfgaard and... let's just call it the whole north versus south now. And it's only Radovid and Henselt. And then we got Saskia, but it looked like Saskia's... the whole Edirn was getting taken there. Holy moly, man. I can't wait. Like, it's so much cool things to just come. Like, I can imagine Geralt is probably going to be looking for Ciri and Yennefer, because I feel like his memory is completely back now. I would imagine that in Witcher 3 his memory is probably back. But we will see as we actually get to that point. But wow, like I said, what a great game, man. It's been such a fucking awesome journey to this point, and it's not over yet, but oh man. It's so rough to just not want to play the third game since I just beat this game technically. But I will do Vernon's Path. I did promise it and I will deliver. But anyways, my friends, I'm out of here. Stay safe and I will see you all next time. Take it easy. Have a good one.